This morning, Mexico and Canada responding to President Trump's new tariffs with restrictions of their own. It's a back and forth that the Wall Street Journal editorial board is calling the dumbest trade war in history. The president putting a 25% tax on imports from both countries yesterday, asking them to stop the export of illicit drugs and to reduce illegal immigration into the U.S. Canada's prime minister announcing tariffs on the U.S. last night, also 25%, and Mexico's president also issuing an order for retaliatory tariffs to be put on American goods.
The world is once again at the mercy of reckless political theatrics, and this time, it's the U.S. government playing with fire, dragging Canada and Mexico into a manufactured crisis. President Trump, in his unrelenting quest to dismantle decades of economic partnerships, has sent shockwaves through global markets with his latest stunt, brutal, punishing tariffs that are nothing short of economic warfare against America's closest allies. The so-called justification, a flimsy, laughable excuse about stopping the influx of drugs, an argument so weak it would crumble under the slightest scrutiny. What Trump has actually done is throw the American worker under the bus, sparking an international trade war that will cripple industries, devastate livelihoods, and push the world closer to economic collapse. If this is leadership, then the world is in deep trouble. The arrogance on display is staggering. The U.S. president, who has spent his tenure peddling a false narrative of economic patriotism, has now unleashed a policy so self-destructive it defies logic. It's a move that reeks of desperation, a distraction designed to rally his dwindling base, while ignoring the very real consequences that hardworking Americans will suffer. Canada and Mexico, unwilling to be bullied, have wasted no time in striking back with precision, targeting U.S. exports with calculated retaliation. If Trump thought he could strong-arm his neighbors into submission, he severely underestimated their resolve. Trudeau and Sheinbaum are not just fighting for their own economies. They are exposing the hypocrisy and incompetence of an administration that thrives on chaos. Markets are already in turmoil, businesses are bracing for impact, and the global economic order is teetering on the brink of a new crisis. All because of one man's obsession with reckless brinkmanship. The question now is, how much longer can the world endure this madness? How many American jobs will be sacrificed at the altar of Trump's ego? How much more economic devastation will it take before the people demand accountability? Buckle up, because this is just the beginning. Stay with us till the end. Hello, and welcome back to Innovative Check YouTube channel, where we delve into the innovative and transformative projects changing our world. If you're new to the channel and enjoy learning about innovation stories around the world, you've come to the right place. Please subscribe, like, and comment to help boost our videos on YouTube. Canada and Mexico wasted no time firing back after President Trump's latest move, slapping steep tariffs on their exports in what he called a necessary step to secure America's economy. The response from Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo was swift, furious, and unequivocally aimed at making the U.S. feel the weight of economic retaliation. Trump's decision to impose a 25% tariff on Canadian and Mexican goods, coupled with a 10% tariff on Chinese imports, sent shockwaves through global markets, intensifying trade tensions at a time when the world was already teetering on economic uncertainty. The rhetoric quickly escalated as both leaders condemned the move as reckless and harmful, not only to their own economies, but to the very workers Trump had promised to protect. Trudeau, visibly angered, addressed the nation with a grave warning. He declared that his government would not stand idle while the livelihoods of Canadian workers were threatened by what he described as an ill-conceived economic assault orchestrated by Washington. Canada's counterpunch was formidable. A 25% tariff on $155 billion worth of U.S. goods, targeting industries that would directly impact American workers. The list included everything from beer, wine, and bourbon to fresh produce and high-end fashion, ensuring that consumers on both sides of the border would feel the pinch. The Prime Minister's words carried a somber tone as he urged Canadians to prepare for difficult times ahead. He openly called for a boycott of U.S. products, naming Florida orange juice as an example of what Canadians could do without in favor of locally sourced alternatives. The timing of Trump's tariffs raised eyebrows, particularly as Trudeau was set to leave office in a matter of weeks. Some saw the move as an intentional snub, a final test of Canada's ability to maneuver in an increasingly protectionist world. But Trudeau, in one of his final major acts as leader, chose defiance. He warned Americans that the tariffs would have severe consequences within their own borders, predicting that auto assembly plants and manufacturing facilities in states like Michigan and Ohio could soon find themselves in crisis. This is not just an attack on Canada, he declared. This is an attack on the entire economic structure that sustains millions of hard-working Americans. Just a quick reminder to hit the like button below. YouTube has been restricting my videos a lot recently because of bots, so your like does help out this video massively in terms of the algorithm in YouTube. Trump, never one to back down from a fight, dismissed Trudeau's warnings as fear-mongering. In a late-night post on X, he insisted that the tariffs were necessary to halt the flow of illicit drugs into the U.S. He claimed that past administrations had allowed Canada and Mexico to walk all over American manufacturers, and he framed his decision as a long-overdue course correction. "We are done being the world's piggy bank. America first. No more bad deals," Trump's post read, punctuated with his trademark capitalization and exclamation points. The response from Trudeau and Sheinbaum was equally pointed, with both leaders questioning the legitimacy of Trump's reasoning and accusing the administration of using economic policy as a blunt instrument to strong-arm allies. Mexico's response was even more aggressive. President Sheinbaum wasted no time in authorizing a series of retaliatory tariffs that would hit American exporters hard. But beyond economic measures, Sheinbaum took a direct shot at Trump's characterization of Mexico as a safe haven for cartel activity. In a blistering statement, she flipped the narrative, pointing the finger at U.S. armories and firearm manufacturers, whom she accused of supplying the very criminals Trump claimed to be fighting. "If there is an alliance with criminal organizations, it exists within the borders of the U.S., she said. She cited recent findings from the U.S. Department of Justice, revealing that American-made weapons were fueling much of the violence in Mexico. Her words ignited a firestorm in Washington, drawing sharp rebukes from conservative lawmakers who accused her of deflecting blame. Trump's claim that the tariffs would stem the flow of fentanyl into the U.S. was met with open ridicule by Sheinbaum, who pointed out the glaring contradictions in the administration's policies. She argued that if the U.S. was serious about combating drug abuse, it would focus on cleaning up the narcotics trade within its own cities rather than punishing its closest neighbors. She called on Washington to crack down on the flow of money laundering operations within its borders, a move that would do far more to cripple cartel activity than any trade restrictions ever could. If you are enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to subscribe, share the video, and comment. Exploits on Plaque, founded, philanthropy, from our exploits, Black and Pact. The war of words quickly spiraled into a larger diplomatic crisis. Sheinbaum's administration revealed that Mexico had already been working on a Plan B to counteract potential trade disruptions. Though the details remained vague, it was clear that the Mexican government was prepared to enforce non-tariff measures that would further strain U.S. businesses relying on Mexican exports. This revelation fueled speculation that Mexico could begin restricting its cooperation on immigration enforcement, a move that would create a political nightmare for Trump's re-election campaign. Trump's base had long lauded his aggressive stance on border security, but if Mexico suddenly chose to ease up on its enforcement efforts, it could undo years of work on curbing migration flows. The stakes were high, and both sides seemed unwilling to back down. Meanwhile, China wasted no time in issuing its own condemnation. Beijing's Ministry of Commerce slammed the U.S. for what it called a blatant violation of trade norms and vowed to take grievances to the World Trade Organization. The response from Chinese officials suggested that they would not sit idly by as Trump's administration continued to escalate tensions. While the exact nature of Beijing's countermeasures remained clear, past retaliation suggested that American agricultural exports and tech companies could soon find themselves in the crosshairs. China's warning was particularly concerning for U.S. semiconductor companies, as firms like TSMC and ASML had long relied on a stable trade environment to maintain their supply chains. A disruption in this sector could have far-reaching consequences, further complicating an already volatile economic landscape. Markets reacted predictably to the escalating trade war, with stocks tumbling across major indexes. Investors grew increasingly wary of the uncertainties surrounding global trade, and analysts warned that prolonged tensions could trigger a downturn reminiscent of past economic crises. The auto industry, in particular, braced for impact. Manufacturers that relied on Canadian and Mexican supply chains feared that the new tariffs would drive up costs, forcing them to either pass the burden on to consumers or scale back production. Some speculated that the fallout could extend beyond North America, affecting European automakers who had long benefited from trade partnerships with U.S. firms. As the dust settled from the initial wave of tariffs, one thing became clear: this was no longer just a trade dispute. It was a full-scale economic confrontation that threatened to redraw the lines of global commerce. Trump, ever the political brawler, relished the fight, viewing it as yet another opportunity to project strength on the world stage. But his opponents were just as determined, and the coming months would test whether the administration's gamble would pay off or backfire spectacularly. With tensions at an all-time high and uncertainty gripping the markets, the world watched as North America's three largest economies hurtled toward an unprecedented showdown. The stakes could not be higher, and the outcome of this battle would shape the future of international trade for years to come. Thank you for your attention, and I welcome your thoughts and questions on this complex and vital subject. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to get exclusive videos about how phenomenally China is developing and growing its influence. Your subscriptions and likes motivate us to generate more content, so please keep supporting us. Check out this video showing on your screen right now, and I will see you on the other side.